Hwanying Karibu to the Digging for Wisdom podcast. My name is Joe Wadeka. I'm glad you're here to journey with me yet again as we find wisdom through deep dialogue. On this one, I've got my good friend back again, Elias Dominguez from Juarez, Mexico. And we are discussing creativity versus mastery. Dive right in. Enjoy.
Record.
Boom, we're on. We're rolling.
We learned today that Joe thinks that the mic comes out of the headphones.
The mic comes it comes out of the headphones. The headphones come out of the mic.
No.
Dude, if you have the sound is different if you have the headphones in. That's all I'm trying to say.
The sound,
you hear the other person here versus like hearing them through the ether, through the
room.
Yeah, through the room.
But what does it have to do with me not wearing them? Is gonna cause that you can't hear me?
No. Like I don't wanna be selfish and enjoy the sweet sound of headphones, and you on the other side just not enjoying the goodness of it.
That's so funny.
I don't know. I saw a clip of Theo Von. Is it? Does he pronounce it Theo or Theo?
Theo is no,
Okay,
no
it's
Mexican.
My Theo.
My Theo Von.
My Theo Von. And you're saying how like a guest or somebody sued them because they felt like their ears were injured or something because of the headphones.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to follow up and see who it was because I bet he says it at some point because Theo is so relaxed.
I mean, the world's crazy. I'm sure that might have happened. But I think people underestimate the usage of headphones, honestly.
As in
using them a lot, loud, often.
Yeah.
And I tell you that just because I play drums. I'm so careful with my ears.
That was something you said the other day when I came to your gig that I thought was interesting. Way you said it, you're like, I'm putting on these, what are those things called?
Just earplugs.
Earplugs.
Yeah.
So that my ears don't get tired.
Yeah. Your ears get tired.
I never thought of ears getting tired.
You never like, when I know my ears are tired is when they start feeling like after you swim, you know?
Yeah. You just want quiet and peace.
Yeah, or you just want to like, it's almost like they're plugged in a little bit. But it's because that happens to me if I'm recording stuff or I'm at the studio like listening to the same thing all over and over and over.
It makes sense.
At the end of it, I'm just like,
yeah.
My ears are tired.
It's such a perfect way to describe it because I never knew how to describe that feeling. But it is literally like the rest of your body. If your muscles get tired, you're just like, dude, my ear. Or if you listen to somebody who you don't enjoy listening to talk for a long time, after that you're like, my ears are tired. I exercised them the whole day.
Your phone, I don't know if you've noticed, it has a level of earphone output that tells you what dBs are coming out of it, and it tells you if they're too loud. Did you know that?
No. Here. I've seen the too loud one.
I'll show you.
But I haven't seen, hey man, you upgraded, huh?
What do you mean?
What you want? What version you on?
Oh, the old one.
Version 16.25.
I would have to connect these to the headphones. But here, I don't know if you have this ear thing here in the menu.
No. What? How do you get that?
Shoot. We can look at it after.
Okay.
But here, you plug in something.
Yeah.
And then it's going to show you, as the music is going or whatever, the level of dB. And it literally says like green is not you're fine. You can use it for a long time. And yellow, it's like pushing it.
Yeah. And then red. Is that like from a new release, or did you have to get an extra package or something?
No, it's been there for a while.
Wow. But I have a device and I don't even use this thing, man, properly.
It can do a lot, man. But for real, like you wanna try to be able to enjoy your ears when you're older, because I don't think there's any fix for ears as you grow older.
But I saw Apple released. Well, let me not. Like, we can say they released, but it's more they got approved for their those Apple Pods. Are they called pods? The little
Sure.
the earphones for Apple. What are those things called?
Mhm.
Pods?
AirPods.
AirPods. That people can now use them for certain cases as hearing aids. The FDA approved Apple.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, bro, we'll get to a point.
This-
I mean, I'm not advocating for people to just make their ears tired every day by listening to loud music, but it seems like there's a solution that we're already approaching. You can look cool and wear hearing aids at the same time.
That is actually not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
If you already use them all day.
Mm-hmm.
They have this thing too has a background sounds. Like if you listen to a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
you can have like the background.
Oh. Dude, how come I've never seen that on my phone, man?
In the ocean.
That's really cool.
Or the rain. So nice.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it worked.
And it's been there this whole time?
I mean, it's not this whole time.
No, like
I mean, I've been
years.
using it for like 2 years.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So protect your ears if you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that advice for sure. And it's weird. Was it yesterday? I was driving from the gym coming back home, and I just stopped at a traffic light, and I remembered how I used to blast music. Right? I remember you used to tell me like, dude, you don't have to listen to music with that much bass.
Oh, yeah,
like you're not enjoying it. But I was just like, I have to feel it.
the,
But now I was listening to some soft song, like just do, and it was so joyful.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of that we used to do.
Do you think it's just a thing of time and space? Like not time and space. Like there is a time to make your ears tired all day.
Yeah, I think so. When you're younger, it's the same thing. You can eat anything, and it's no big deal.
Your body jumps back.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
I don't know if you've noticed getting sick. Even me recently, like I had a stomach ache.
Mhm.
Just I think when I went to Mexico, I came back and I just had too much spicy stuff, I think. But usually you have a stomach ache for a day or two and you're fine, right?
Yep.
It's like I had this like weird pain in my stomach for like 5 days. It wasn't like too much that it was like too painful, but it was just there. You know how you get like a cramp?
Mm-hmm. No, bro, I don't know how to get you get a cramp
Yeah, you don't get cramps?
in my stomach.
Yeah, it feels like a cramp. Like a
I don't know about that.
like when you
man.
do abs.
You sure? Did you do a sex change when you were young, bro? So, I mean, what do you mean you get a cramp?
In your stomach?
No, I don't think. No, I mean, are you talking
might
about?
just
Are you
not-
talking about a stitch?
You must just
Like
not,
when you run?
you must not describe it. Sure. Yeah, it's same feeling.
Oh, okay.
I never heard it be called like that. But
It's called a stitch, bro. When you say a cramp, is like you got a uterus down there. And
no. Everyone gets cramps. What are you talking about?
on the stomach?
Yeah.
Maybe
I think so.
maybe it's like if you work out your abs a lot or something.
I think you made that
continue.
word up. I think you made that word up.
No, it's called a stitch.
It's not gonna stay.
we need a Jamie for the podcast. Hey,
Ask-
Jamie, man, can you search
Just pull ChatGPT.
GPT? Let's see here.
Say Google. What is the difference between a stomach stitch or a stomach cramp?
Okay, I'm on Apple here. Siri,
Siri doesn't know.
what's the difference between a stomach stitch and a stomach cramp?
Yeah,
Oh,
Siri
one
doesn't
second.
know nothing.
No. She's talking.
and discomfort aren't as severe.
Oh, 1 second. Siri, what's the difference between a stomach stitch and a stomach cramp? Okay. Most cases of stomach cramps tend to be mild. These tend to be more temporary, acute, and the pain and discomfort are not severe. Okay, dude, but I don't know. Maybe it's just in Kenya we called it a stitch. You've never had it called a stitch?
Okay, according to ChatGPT, stomach stitch, also known as a side stitch or exercise-related transient abdominal pain.
There you go.
It is sharp, localized pain, usually felt on one side of the abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
Commonly occurs during physical activity, particularly running or other exercise. The pain is usually short-lived. Okay. Stomach cramp. A cramp is a general term for muscle spasm or contractions that can occur anywhere in the abdomen. The pain is often more diffuse and can range from mild to severe with a dull, aching sensation. Stomach cramps can be caused by various factors, including digestive issues like gas, bloating, or indigestion, dehydration.
Or menstrual cramps.
Actually, it does say that. Menstrual cramps.
Yeah.
Or illness, such as food poisoning or infections.
Oh, okay.
In summary, a stitch is sharp related to exercise, while cramp is more diffuse and can result from a variety of conditions. I think we were both. I think I was right.
And welcome to the Digging for Wisdom Health Podcast edition.
We learned that Joe has never had a cramp in his life.
Only stitches, bro.
Only stitches.
But
I had
snitches
too
get
many tortillas. I had a stitch.
Had a stitch. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. I did not know that.
That's so silly.
Cramps can be, because the only time I've had cramps is from the menstrual cramps.
You've had menstrual cramp?
No. Heard with my ears.
You said had, so I was
not had HAD. Hey, Misael is calling.
Wow.
I'll hit
What's
him
he
up
up
later.
to?
I was trying to hit him up actually about some real estate stuff, to just gain some wisdom in that department.
Yeah, he's pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, very. That and finances and stuff.
I think he helped Chance get what he got.
Mm.
I think he got a duplex too.
Dude, if I can find a duplex, man, that would be nice right about now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's so hard to find any multi-families homes anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying at the beginning before we press record? We're gonna go into.
Oh, we're talking about being a creative person, and I wanted you to retell the story of the one time we tried to film a whole music video, and I was put in charge of the creative process of like planning it, getting the videography in, getting all the lighting and all of that stuff in, and also give the video some creative direction. And
well, it was a plan doomed to fail.
How come? But because now we can look back and splice it up. Like,
because
what made it so doomed to failure?
It was doomed to fail when we were supposed to do it. We got together. We said we're gonna. Well, to begin this, I think you made it sound a little bit, which I don't think it was intentional. You made it sound like you had the whole responsibility to do it.
Bro, that's how it felt.
Okay.
Maybe my memory.
Let's remember that you wanted to start, or we wanted to start a project called Made in Oklahoma.
No, make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yes.
I don't even remember.
Yes.
Or make it happen in your house.
Yes.
Where we were gonna do music, content.
Yep.
We put some panels on the room.
Yep. We bought
speakers.
Like this, we built the studio, and we had the space.
We had a space.
No. I mean, I say
it wasn't. It
wasn't this space.
It wasn't.
But it was
ideal.
It was enough to where we could have carried up different sections, of which we did.
Mm-hmm. It all doomed to fail, or failed to doom, or was doomed to fail. When we said, okay, we're doing this, and then we got to the place. Well, to a little background, we have a studio separate from this place where we have a lot of gear, and just Mike and our band just has a lot of stuff, right? We got there first to grab some of the stuff to use it, and it was doomed to fail when we said, okay, what's the plan? And then there wasn't a plan. And then I suggested...
There was a general...
No.
Hold up.
No, there wasn't a plan.
You're throwing me under the bus there.
You're throwing me under the bus.
No.
You're trying to say that we made you plan everything.
Not
that
that
way. Let me
way.
finish my part, and then you can correct me if you think I'm wrong.
I want to defend myself. Get a chance to cross-examine
I also
here.
said we said. I didn't say you didn't have a plan.
Okay.
We didn't have a plan,
But I felt like I had a plan. That's why I was jumping back to be like, mine was that we just get to the house, we bring this stuff from the studio to the other studio, and then the plan was
And
gonna
then we figure it out. Great plan.
The plan was gonna come to fruition.
No,
Dude,
see-
I didn't know I needed to plan every shot of everything.
I don't think you
of-
knew. I don't think you knew. I don't think we knew. I don't think you knew. I don't think anyone knew. That's the
depth.
thing. Yes. But what we did, what I do remember saying was, okay, it seems like there's no plan. Let's postpone this till we have a plan. And then I remember you saying, no, man, we have to do it. We're already here. Let's just try to, let's just like not waste time and like make it happen.
Because by then we had, and also the name of the company was
Sure.
literally Make It Happen.
Sure.
And by then we
And I
had
didn't want-
brought in everybody, the people playing the instruments. We
Not
had.
y-
Because remember we got to the studio and I think we hadn't told Mike, because he seemed like, okay, what do you guys mean you're gonna borrow even the carpet from his studio,
Right.
from you guys' studio,
Carpet.
right?
The
Yeah,
rug.
the rug.
You didn't think that- yeah.
No, the carpet, the rug.
Bring the hammer and let's get this carpet out of here.
We're stripping everything. But I feel like that's how it felt, because we took the chairs. We were asking, hey, we want to take some of the instruments as well, just put in the background. Like we stripped that studio to take all of that stuff. We should have just done it there, by the way.
Yeah.
To the other studio. But
Your house was nice for the background listening as well. That's why
thank
we
you.
went.
You see, there was a plan.
I don't know.
Yep. But
No.
so we get to the house. We take all this stuff begrudgingly.
Yeah, and because the plan wasn't super solid, it took longer than everyone wanted it to take.
Dude, it took forever.
Yeah, it took a long time.
It took days. I think we ended up filming it over multiple days. Like some people had
Yeah.
to come back and
Yeah.
like the guy who was doing the lead, we had to literally
Oh,
tell
you're
him like,
right.
go, we'll do you another day.
Right. And yeah, it took a long time. Honestly, we just didn't know much about lighting and video recording. Because I think the song was okay. But then the other problem was that when we were trying to do the shots where everyone was playing, everyone just looked like they didn't want to be there.
Because by the time we were doing it,
Yeah.
like people are so tired.
Yeah. So like
Ah.
most of the footage that we got just wasn't quality. Honestly, that's what happened.
That's true.
And I don't think it was anyone's fault that it didn't come to fruition. It just was a process that wouldn't have. It would have been, I think, more frustrated to go through everything and then put up or release like a half-assed.
Semi-baked.
Yeah.
I think also on my end, now that I'm reflecting on this, the expectations were not communicated. Because we got to the house
Definitely.
and I was thinking everybody's going to help us set up. Like, I was thinking they're looking at it as our project, like everybody who was there. Because there was like 6-7 people there.
Yeah.
But the two of us were the only ones doing anything.
Right.
Because
Everyone
they
was
thought
sitting
they'd just
around.
come in to like play, and that was it. Like, oh, I'm gonna show up with my bass guitar or whatever instrument and play, and
Definitely.
that's that. So it felt like they thought it was our project.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
why
that was the
that's
other
why
thing.
it took so much. It took so long to set up, man. I remember.
Yeah, that wasn't very fun.
But how? Even by the time he was getting to like, oh, okay, everything is done to edit the song, dude, I was so done. Because we never edited it. The song, you edited the song, the audio though, but I never edited the video.
Yeah. It's so much, dude, to do video,
Yeah.
to editing.
Yep.
Had you done something in video around that time that
Yeah.
you did? You were editing some stuff, right, for something else?
Like I had edited. I mean, I knew how to edit videos. I had edited. I'd used Premiere Pro in high school, so I was like, "Oh,
I got this.
I got this."
Yeah.
dude, but then it was like hours and hours of footage, man.
Yeah.
And by then my spirit was demotivated, man. Yeah, because it was just like, oof. It just felt like nobody was helping.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the truth. Most people didn't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What was your takeaway from that experience?
um,
On the process of being, because you're a really creative person and you work with other very highly creative people who take a lot of ownership into their art.
that's always my problem, because although I do think I am a creative person, I am also super procedural. So if I don't see a path to victory, I don't even like to start being creative. So I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
Yeah.
I've learned that just kind of that's how I am in that regard. So it's hard for me to do things without a goal.
The goal can't be that it was done. The journey is a destination kind of approach to it.
It depends. I think yes. Dude, it's so simple. If you don't have a goal, yes, the experience of trying it is good, but there's no if you don't have a goal, you don't even know to take path. You're just wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not the kind of artist who is like, not all those who wander are lost.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And I think because I have so many hobbies and so much, and I also try to be intentional with my life in other areas that are not even have to do anything with art, that if I feel like I'm wasting time not being creative, if I think I'm wasting my time without achieving a goal, it's just hard. And it's really simple. Like whenever we started playing music in the band, we had all these good songs and stuff to perform.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we were like, okay, we might not be ready, but we're getting a gig.
Pushed you.
Yeah. And then we all got together and played some, planned a good set.
Yeah, I'm curious because you're also a software developer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you ever bring sort of the software way of building software into the band and making music, where you're like, okay, we might not have the perfect product, but let's just get an MVP. Like, let's get a rough draft and get it out as soon as we can, get feedback, sort of agile, iterate quickly. I don't know. Is there an intersection for you between those two worlds? Because coding and I can see, for me, when if I learn a framework of doing things, I tend to apply it to other areas.
Well, that's the thing with programming. There's also so much creative. You can be super creative with programming. So,
dude, only experts can say that, man. I don't feel like I'm where I'm gonna be super creative with it yet. But
so again, going back to what I was saying, if there is a goal with programming or with music, it's so much easier to make decisions. So I guess to answer your question, yes. For example, we wrote a song recently that is this just super long song. It's 8 minutes, 9 minutes long.
man,
And at first we were just being creative and coming up with these parts, right?
yeah,
They weren't even full-fledged songs. We were okay, we're gonna just write what we feel.
it's little snippets.
Mm-hmm. And it turned out that we wrote them in a way that they just flow into each other. So they're not really a song.
But they feel like a full.
They feel like 3 songs, but it's just one song. So that's, in that way, we took the creative approach.
I see.
So
no goal.
There's no goal. We're just putting it together. We're gonna play it. Even the genres between the switching of the songs are like, we go from like rock, surf, punk to like heavy
Hip-hop.
metal to like jazz to like blues. Like it's nuts. So when we had that, then we decided, okay, we're gonna then release the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we're gonna end up doing is that we're gonna release them as separate songs and turn it into like they call them MPs now.
It's like an EP.
Well,
what's the difference between an EP? What does
EP
MP stand for too?
I don't remember exactly what
Master
the word
produced or something?
is.
Because EP is extended. Dude, today we are learning.
Yeah, we're chat GPTing.
Yes, sir. Okay. Maybe I should say in music.
What did it come
Google
up?
Gemini brought like EP is or MP is middle position. I was like, what? Megapixels. That's not what I mean.
Extended play.
Yep.
And what? Well, the point of the MP is that
Oh, here it is. Extended play, long play.
MP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like not an album,
Yep.
but it's not an EP.
And it's not a mixtape.
So it's like in between.
I see.
So we'll probably make it those 8-9 minutes into, the first part is like 3 minutes, the second part is like 1 minute, and then the next one is like 30 seconds, and then the last one is like 5 minutes.
But it's a full standalone.
I don't even know if that's 9
unit.
minutes. I don't think that added up to 9 minutes, but whenever you go on Spotify,
Yeah.
you're gonna have them be different things, but if you play it from the beginning to the end, it's gonna sound like one song.
Oh, okay. But will it still, like if I pick randomly to listen to number 5, is it still,
It's
it still
gonna
sounds complete
It's
by
still
itself?
gonna sound like a song. Yeah. And like
that's really cool.
That 30-second one is gonna sound like a 30-second instrumental.
It's like that J. Cole intro.
Okay.
I don't remember.
know.
There was one of do you wanna be
Sure.
free?
Yeah.
Like that little snippet is only like 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of you see that a lot in hip hop music. Thundercat also has a lot of that. He
Dude,
plays
I've
a
never
song.
listened to a whole Thundercat album. Does he sing?
Yeah, a lot.
I thought he only plays bass.
No, he sings.
Ah.
He sings. It's interesting because he sings like he's playing an instrument. He's not singing to have you like almost sing back to him. He's more like putting his vocals into the music as like part of the music.
Huh.
You have to listen to it. Well, just going back to what you were saying about the engineering. In that regard, I would say it's a little less that. But then there's been some songs, whenever we wrote our first album, that we had, or Mike had the music, and we deconstructed it to make it into a single, which usually whenever you're trying to write a single, it has not the same structure, but it has a similar structure that people are used to. So you have a riff, you have the chorus, you have some lyrics, but you go intro, verse,
Oh, chorus, bridge,
well,
or maybe verse 2.
verse 2, right? And then chorus, bridge, chorus, end.
Oh,
That's usually
so
how you would.
a single is just
You could almost see
something
it.
that follows that structure, or is a single like
A single,
you choose a song out of a batch and you call that
Usually-
your single?
yeah, that's the thing with art. There's just not that many rules. But if you want to if you want to say most times, singles are songs that are more digestible for the majority of people,
That makes sense.
and not because they're pop songs or produced songs, just because they're the most accessible song for the most people.
The way it's arranged.
The way it's arranged,
Okay.
the way it's even written. Like that single of our album is Johnson's Wife. That song has very little lyrics. The bridge is repetitive. I know right now you want to go, but you never leave. You sing that a lot.
Yeah.
The riff is very recognizable, you know. It's throughout the whole song. So like that song was
that
like,
riff is catchy.
yeah. So in that sense, you can argue that it was a framework, like in programming.
I see.
Using a framework.
I see.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Do you write for you in the band? Do you write a lot or how involved are you?
the majority
Man,
of
we didn't even talk about the band you play in.
yeah, I play in this band called CFR.
Yep.
We've been going for a few years.
A few years, dude. It's been a decade.
No, we haven't
It has been a
that long.
decade,
No.
bro.
The beginning was
you played since 2014.
we played one gig and then we didn't play again. In
No,
like
but
5
you
years.
are a band.
Uh,
You was when was CFR formed?
I consider it a band when Israel joined. That's when I consider it that it started.
But you guys played a gig with Philip and Kyle,
Uh-huh.
and it was still called CFR at that point. So are you just like saying? We don't remember. Huh? I'm here as the CFR historian today, man. I'm not gonna let you escape
That's
those
good.
first few years.
That's like good for the documentary, but no.
So when you're telling the genesis of the band, you're gonna cut out those years.
Well, we have a bio, and per the bio, it talks about how Mike and I met in college, and
Yeah.
we got together through just all classic rock music, and then Israel joined the band in 2017.
And that's when the band was formed.
I mean, we don't say this is when
Okay.
the band was formed. This is not a NBC thing. But to me, that's when it started because when we played our first. Here, I'll say it like this: the first time we recorded anything was with Israel.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. We recorded it. We recorded an EP, which at the time it was an EP of 3 songs with our friend Samuel in Dallas, and then
No, Israel was not there.
you were there too, right?
Yes, dude.
Oh,
That's
you're
I'm
right.
coming back to edit that bio
And that
you
was
ma-
2014?
Bro, that was 2014. Yes, I'm the historian of CFR.
That's shameful.
Let me retell this story how it
10
happened.
years.
Bro. It has been 10 years because that EP, it was Kyle was there and Philip was there.
Mm-hmm.
The one we went and played. See, I'm even inserting myself there. The historian.
Yeah,
The
I
historian.
remember.
That was part of the experience. At the church in Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, tell that story, bro, because I feel like that's such a like interesting component of just that you travel to a whole city, went to a church.
We had a friend that his friend our friend's name Samuel. He taught us a lot growing up about music.
And I think we talked
And
about Samuel in
performing.
our first episode.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was in college with Mike. It's my freshman year. It was his senior year. And we had these 3 songs that we liked that Mike wrote that we kind of put together with the band. And we just wanted to record something to just have it for ourselves and share maybe with people. We never even put it out on
You did?
Spotify. We put it on SoundCloud, I think.
Yes, but you put the video on YouTube.
We put the video on YouTube.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he was doing some work in a church in Dallas, and he's always been really good at just working with what he's got.
Yep.
And at the time, we decided to record all 3 songs at the church with a console that Mike brought that Samuel knew how to use.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anything fancy or anything, but he had all the instruments ready, and it was just, at the church.
And his wife did the video.
Wife did
That
the
was
video.
really good. Dude, that video was nice. It was
It was
simple,
nice. Yeah.
but it was just like clean.
I should make it public again on YouTube.
You hid it?
It's private, yeah.
Man, that's why you're trying to erase here history of CFR, bro.
No,
Huh?
if you want to make it compact, you don't want to be confusing,
But it's not. Do you have a current video for that song?
Not for that song. We have a from Johnson's wife.
Oh, okay.
Well, regardless, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't a crazy story. It was just we drove from Oklahoma City to Dallas, and through the night, I think through one night, we did 3 songs.
Yep.
We did the video, and it was really fun because it wasn't forced. We all kind of knew what to do. At the time, it was much easier to communicate with Kyle and Philip.
Yeah, Kyle was playing bass. Philip was playing piano.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keys.
The songs were already kind of jotted down, and honestly, Samuel was just really good at producing. He just knew, like, hey, just do that.
Dude, Samuel is your Rick Rubin, because we were talking about Rick Rubin earlier today. Would you classify me that?
I don't think he wants to be Rick
He's
Rubin at all, honestly.
He's a producer whisperer. He just knows.
I think he would not enjoy that, honestly.
Why not? I feel like it's a compliment in the way of, like,
I guess in the
he
way
hears something and then he's like play that, like more of that.
In that way, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Oh, okay.
No, he taught us a lot of tricks on. I don't think he even did it on purpose, but just him teaching us how to perform made it to where, okay, we know if a song is boring, or if you need to transition, or if you need to make something more interesting here or there, or if it needs to breathe.
On the performing, I'm just curious because I'm on the other side of. I'm always just a consumer. Like, I'm the fan. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Like, what all did he teach you? What all goes into stage presence?
Let me finish the audio part so we can
Go
move
ahead.
on to that.
Yep.
We recorded over the night. He helped us. We gave him some money, whatever we could put together as college students. He was really cool. He's always been really helpful. And the video was cool. The songs sounded pretty good. He mixed and mastered them in Juarez.
Does he have a whole studio there?
And it was really cool. Yeah, he has his own studio.
Nice.
At his house. And it turned out for what it was for a day with what we have. It was great. It was amazing. We just at the time, and why I say that we started in 2017.
Yeah.
Is because after that Mike graduated. He moved to Dallas.
Yeah.
And then
Kyle moved to Canada or whatever with his
moved
girlfriend.
somewhere else. Philip didn't
Philip
want
was
to
still
play.
around.
We were all around, but Mike, which was the songwriter, and also the owner of all the gear.
So did he move with? He moved with all of his gear.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
a cool story about that is that we went to OCU, Oklahoma City University, was that Mike, throughout that last few months of the year, he figured out that he asked someone, and there was this dorm that no one was using.
Yep, Smith Hall.
He figured out someone to give him access to the basement. And just one student in the whole college just had access to the basement, and he put all of his stuff there. And that's where we would practice. And we had access to that anytime, any day. We had the whole gig rig,
Yep.
speakers, drums. And he had all his like nice stuff there too, which I guess college students,
Oh, like nobody even. People just thought that building was off limits. I think because nobody even lived.
yeah.
No, there was only that guy lived there. That one guy,
I don't remember.
the one black dude.
I don't remember.
He did.
I believe you. I just don't remember.
he was like a master's student. He was doing some stuff for KOCO or something. Like he was learning to be a camera guy. I'm trying to remember what he was doing there, but I don't know why he was the only one permitted to live there.
I don't know. He was taking care of the skier, I guess. No, but when we came back from recording, all of Mike's stuff was outside, and he freaked out because it wasn't outside. No, that's not true. Mike had locked it, and when we came back, they broke the lock, and it was the school. It wasn't like someone.
Oh,
they broke the lock and put some stuff in there. And then at that time Mike was like, dang, I think people from the school can just come in here.
Yeah.
So we took out,
Because he had
he had a lot of stuff.
What, 50 grand worth of gear in there, if not more?
No, not that much. Chill out.
Bro.
Chill out. Chill out.
But it was a sizable. It was a sizable amount. Is all I'm trying to
painful
say.
amount of things to put at risk.
Yeah.
But we took everything out of there, And I don't think we played again after that because we just didn't have a place for that. But Mike graduated, he moved to Dallas, and he was in Dallas for like 3 or 4 years. So the only time that the band did anything band related was a couple summers. One of the summers we got with Israel, which Israel's my best friend from Mexico. He plays the bass. He came down to Oklahoma City to write some of the music. And at the time, Philip and Kyle, I don't know if you know this, Philip and Kyle were still playing. And Israel got there. And we were just playing, and stuff. And I think at the time, Kyle was now going to play the guitar.
Yeah.
And Philip moved to the bass, and then
I
Israel,
remember that switch.
And then Israel was playing the bass, and then everyone was like, I think you should play the bass. And then Philip was like, yeah, I don't want to play the keyboard.
I don't want to be in the band no more.
Yeah.
Sorry, Philip.
I think Israel checkmated him by accident. But I mean, Philip had his own thing going on, and Kyle was moving too. So it wasn't until that day that we actually wrote more music. That Israel and I had some input in the music after that. Because the first 3 songs were just the way that Mike wrote them.
I see.
So it wasn't until Israel came in and Israel and I helped Mike. He had completed songs, but he only had them in the acoustic. So it wasn't until Israel and I contributed to turn them into full band songs.
Oh, so you guys, you influenced the drumming and the bass. Oh, okay.
Even the organizing of even the shaping of the intro verses, choruses.
I see.
I mean, all the three of us, really, not just the 2 of us, but
the songwriting primarily is Mike is the songwriter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess when I think of CFR, I think of when Israel started to influence the band as well. Because at the time it was more like I actually wanted to name it Mike Manning's Band.
I know. That's why I feel like I've made that point prior too. Because to me it also feels just more marketable.
Yeah.
Pass on band. What is it called? Like having branding wise, have a head man. It's like the Zach Brown band.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that it's all about Zach Brown, but it's easier for people to remember than CFR. But also CFR leaves a lot of questions. It's like that lady who was performing the other time was like, how do I pronounce this name?
Man, that lady.
Is it Kafir? Is it CFR?
I don't know. She was great.
Yeah, she had range.
We were moving on to the other story. What was it?
No, I asked about...
Finish the story. You asked about what?
I asked about, you said, not Josue, Samuel taught you guys a lot about performance.
Oh, the performance.
And I was just asking from a superstar's view, you guys as rock stars up there, what does that look like? Do you do a lot of planning? Because you've mentioned how you're you want to have everything choreographed out, A to Z, have a plan. Is it like that? Or do you just show up and you're like, you stand there, you stand there?
Yeah, it's the same way. The same way you practice anything, you have to practice.
So it's like the way we used to do the homecoming dances at OCU.
Sure. The only thing, the hard part about it is that you have to make it look natural. It's not choreographed, which is actually really hard.
So you're telling me when I see the bassist and the guitarist go back to back
oh this? Yeah, that's practiced. You go to another gig in another state, same band, they're gonna be doing it the same time.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was just bro, I'm feeling this tune, come this way.
I mean, of course there is a lot of space to improvise that, right?
I see.
But generally there is a plan.
So what does superior choreography look like for a band playing the type of music you guys are playing? Because I feel you can't just be... Your music doesn't match jumping up and down ridiculously.
I think the peak of that would be whenever you know what you're doing, you've rehearsed, and then you do it so much that it is now actually natural. That's the peak of that. Because you practice because you're not used to it. You don't just practice because you want to recreate it, right?
Yeah.
You practice because you have to practice how to be loose on stage. Same thing as with debate.
Yeah.
You practice the hand movement. You know, you practice the
like
pointing,
everything. Yeah,
you
the
practice where do you
gestures.
look, yeah. So like, eventually you do it so much that you're not even thinking about it.
You become.
You're expressing, you're public speaking super comfortably. That's the peak of performance.
Who is the group like for you guys when you think like the guys who have mastered the way of stage presence for your kind of genre of, it can be either for your genre of music or in general, like for you, who, you know?
I don't know about the band in general, but for me, it's also about kind of like a preference, because there are bands that, for example, Muse. Muse is...
Dude, what is that one song we used to love from Muse?
Supremacy? No.
The one that we were listening to in the rain, bro. That time it was raining and thundering and we thought we were going to get struck by thunder.
It wasn't Supremacy.
It's
it
the
was,
super long song with the wonderful
something
solo.
Mercy, something...
Dude,
we
I
should
haven't
know
listened.
if it's our favorite song.
For that season, I think it was a good one for that season. Survival.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that song is sick.
Oh.
So, for example, Muse.
Mm-hmm.
Muse, there's only 3 people, right? They
Dude, it sounds like there's 10 people playing.
Well, they actually have 2 people in the back that are playing effects, keys, guitar. They're doing a lot.
But they're
other
not
stuff.
counted as a trip.
No, they're
Bro,
not.
it's like the way you're retelling this CFR history without counting the beginning, man.
I mean,
it's a 5-person band, but it's a
happens
3-person band, but there's 2 in the back.
What's more likely happening there is that either they're a part of the band, but they don't want to be part of the media.
Oh, okay.
Or they're hired musicians that have been with them for years.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things.
Okay.
Because whenever you're a band, like for example, those 3 guys probably own most of the music.
I see.
And those 2 other guys, if they started with Muse, they probably own some of it too.
Or they're paid like
they just
gig
don't
by
want to
gig.
be or they're hired musicians that usually if you're like that good, bands just put you on salary and you're just available.
I see.
That's what happens when you're that level of
So
success.
I was gonna say you're 9 to 5, but bands don't play in the 9 to 5 zone.
But
you're
I
a
mean,
5 to 9 a.m.
Like for example, Jimmy, you know Jimmy the
yes.
drummer.
Mm-hmm.
He was on I don't know if he still is, but he was on salary with the Dixie Chicks.
Oh,
So-
that makes sense.
So he always had money, right?
I always wondered how that guy was always balling. Like, man, I'm going to California. My girlfriend is in. I'm like, dude, I don't see you working. Like,
His kid is in Japan.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a kid, but he was always balling. Or just he lived such a light life. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and then also it's like he took his craft so seriously.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Professional.
Yep.
Real professional. So, okay, just to go back to what we were saying, the bass player of Muse, the drummer of Muse, they're not. I mean, they move, but all they do, the bass player just puts his foot on the speaker and just shakes his head up and down.
Yeah.
Looks at people in the eyes.
Yep.
And it's just rocking.
Yep.
Drummer too, he's just focused on playing the drums, super perfect, super clean, and they're like not doing much. The guitar player is and vocalist is probably pulling the most because he's a lead guy. He's throwing guitars around and stuff like that. But like if you're able to portray who you are and make it look natural on stage, that's what you aspire to be. Because you can practice all this stuff, but if it doesn't feel real to you, it's not gonna feel real to everyone.
But is that just like, where is the line drawn? Because on one side, I just feel it. Like what you're saying, you practice until it becomes real, or is it? It has to be comfortable-ish first before you even get to practicing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you kind of
Like
start.
I think of
with,
like a ballerina. Like, man, that stuff don't look comfortable one bit, man. Your toes. Oh man, I saw that movie Black Swan. Whew, that movie left me.
I actually
appreciate it.
love ballet as an art form. It's
After watching
insane.
that movie, I loved ballet as an art form because I was like,
Have you
it takes that much I didn't know it takes that much
Have you ever been to
effort
one-
and pain and the excruciating pain that those people go
Yeah,
through
it's nuts.
to just look there and look like very.
Have you ever been to a professional one? Because you've seen the ones at school, right?
Yes, at
But have
OCU
you
we
seen
went there.
Have you
Yeah,
seen a
dance school.
professional one?
No,
Like a
no,
professional
I need
ballet?
to go. No, I've not.
They usually have a lot in the winter.
Okay.
We should try to go to one because it's
Dude, let's do it.
It's
do it.
It's human potential. You just look at it.
Wow.
Just like you're so far.
Like
from
they just look
being
like they're
able to do that.
floating.
Yeah, you're just so far. You see all their hard work, like right there. It's so cool. Well,
I feel like to me it's that.
yeah.
It's why I love Ronaldo over Messi. Sorry, Messi. Like for me, Ronaldo is like a ballerina. Like he's put in the work, you know?
Sure.
Like someone can come in there and they're talented, but it's the ballerina, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, you can see it.
So the question was though that is it like that? Like I don't feel like anybody starts out being a great ballerina.
I'll tell you another example. My other, it's also about preference really. One of my other favorite bands, stage presence wise, is this band called Molotov. They're from Juarez. Juarez. Sorry,
Molotov.
they're from Mexico. They're
Molotov also means something else, I feel like.
Well, they call them Molotov cocktails.
That's what I've had. Okay.
Bombs.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of that way.
Yeah.
They're just a rock band from the 80s, 90s. Super legendary, huge. I've been to a few of their shows.
Are they the 45 grados?
No, it's something else. They sing Frijolero. Have you ever heard that song? That's their most popular song.
I have no idea.
Frijolero means beaner. They sing in Spanish. But on stage, throughout the whole show, they're just like cracking jokes with each other. There's no like, they're like, they start talking and there's like, yeah, this guy didn't wake up early this morning. Or like, yeah, I'm going to go, I just came back from your sister's house, you know? Like, not that that's cool, but like, they're just hanging out.
It's
in front of 30,000 people.
Wow.
So like that's why I like it, because they're just like, they're talking like they're in their backyard playing soccer. They're just, you know, like they start a song, hey, you started wrong, stop. And then they stop the song and like, okay, here we go, and then they start again.
And then
they're like the most laid back.
And do you feel so? That's the other part though. Is that practiced or it's just?
That's what I'm saying. That's the peak of it. The peak is that they're so natural, so themselves.
Yep.
That's it transfers so much, and you see it. Yeah, it's like watching a podcast. You see the good podcasters are the ones that are just honest.
Yeah, like it's just them.
Mm-hmm.
But also there's a skill bit of it.
Yeah.
Like they've put in the reps.
Mm-hmm. So that's another example that I like to think about when I think of stage presence. Like it's not so much about, you know, steps and showmanship. It's more about like, I'm paying attention because this is like, this person is just so themselves, so unique, so honest,
Authentic.
Yeah. Like another band is like Oasis.
I don't know Oasis.
Oasis is just a British
I like the name though.
band
It
from
sounds
the
nice.
90s, and they're just like, they're super legendary too, big.
Mm-hmm. Like what's one of their songs? Maybe
Or Radiohead.
I've I've heard the name, but I actually don't even know any of their songs.
Well, Radiohead, Oasis have a similar stage presence. I mean, they were a little more wild back in the day, but now they don't move 1 inch. One.
Because they're old?
No, because they just don't move, and it's rock music.
But you don't feel like the movement also has to match the music you're playing? Like if you're
the difference is that that's who they are. So although it might seem boring, the lyrics, the music, the performance around it makes sense for them to just not move much.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not trying to say that there's a way to do showmanship, like I was saying at the beginning that Samuel taught us how to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is to try to get on stage and wing it, And then another one is to, if you're gonna do that, then just at least practice something.
Okay,
You know?
that makes sense.
And eventually you learn and you transform, and then you evolve into the peak of just being you on stage, being comfortable being you. So what Samuel, just to maybe close that chapter a little bit, what Samuel taught us were really simple tips that you can apply with anything. And I'll give you some easy ones. Just like whenever you're playing or something, you gotta look at people in the eyes.
Oh, so it's just like public speaking.
A little bit, yeah.
Like you look at it's like I'm playing for you.
Yeah.
A few seconds, then for you. Okay.
You look
Do you also do the diamond technique?
like no, like just to go like that.
No.
I did a triangle face or something.
You did the rhombus technique.
No,
no.
I don't never heard of
so in public speaking, they teach you like look at the room as if it's a diamond like this. Like draw a diamond on the audience, and then so just move from that diamond. It's like I'm talking to the people in the back. I talk to a few. I talk to the people on the side. I talk to a few. I mean, one by one, obviously. Then to the front, and then just so. If you do that, even if somebody is sitting like over here on the side, they will feel like you talked to them because it's like you covered.
You're kind of there.
Yeah.
I mean, not specifically that way, but yeah, kind of like that. And a little more specific to worship music, which is what we were doing.
So this is he taught you guys back in the day. Okay, I thought this was when you met for the CFR in Dallas.
No, this was back when we were playing worship music.
Yeah.
We practice to look at people in the eye. We practice. Everyone had a movement that they came up with that was comfortable. That was the other tip. Like Israel he was playing the bass, but he had his right foot would go forward and backwards. So when he was playing, he used to move forwards and backwards.
I've seen him still do that.
Right?
Yeah.
And it looks like he's moving.
Now I know the tricks.
Yes, he's doing it on purpose. That's the second trick. The other easy trick, because he was also, is sing the song. That's like one of the simplest things. If you don't know what you're doing, you feel awkward, just sing the song. It looks like you're.
Do people not sing the song?
Well, while you're playing.
Oh, okay. But that's difficult.
I mean, you don't have to sing it like the same.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it lip sync?
no, you still sing the song because you know it, but it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong.
Okay.
You just
Nobody
move
can
your
hear
lips.
you at that point.
Yeah. So when you sing, a lot of times when I'm singing the song on stage, it's because I'm trying to do some stage thing. It's not because I'm feeling it really. And then fourth one, which I guess it only applies to worship music.
Yep.
We would practice the moments where Ephraim was the singer at the time. The moments where he would pray or speak to the congregation. Like, okay, we have these 3 songs. In between this song, you have 4 measures to say something. Before practice, think about what you're going to say. And think about it
I see.
that it relates to the song.
So it's not a winging it.
No, nothing is winged.
Wow, that makes sense. So when you go to like live church, when you hear like them, like everything is on cue.
And I promise to you that in their ear they're going click, click, pray, click, click.
With the metronome
3.
and everything.
Yes. Starting 3, 2. And go to Jesus.
Yeah, because you normally feel like, man,
it's practice.
It's right on cue.
Yeah, it's all rehearsed.
Okay, let me ask it from a spiritual angle. Do you feel like is there a limitation when you make it that on cue? Right? Because if you're worshiping,
okay, this is the cool thing about that. It would be if everyone in the band and in the worship and was like a super professional machine musician.
I see.
Because imagine this guy just comes one time to practice.
Yep.
He's following the cues. He doesn't really even know where he is. He's just following the thing. And then you tell him like, okay, improvise. Or like, okay, we're going to take this much time. They don't know what to do. They just know what to follow. So if you go to like a professional worship band, I guess I would call it, or like Israel Hookton. I don't know if you heard of him.
Yes. Oh man, his songs are so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Israel Houghton and the African.
He
there's
has-
a whole African thing.
Whenever he spends more time through worship, his musicians know what to do, how to do it.
Okay.
Because then you run at the risk that if you try to do that with not professional musicians, now the song sounds terrible. Everyone's off.
I see.
You don't even know
I
where
see.
you are. It's the same thing about it applies similarly to on stage practicing who you are or practicing moves. You practice that too, because eventually if you get that good and comfortable, then you can do it naturally.
I see. And everybody else will adjust, and you can switch it a bit. And,
Right.
Okay.
But you have to be good.
I see.
Good. Not just kind of good.
Do you guys feel like you're there now? Because for me, when I observe the show from this other end, it feels fully natural.
It feels because we practice that. We actually practice what Mike's going to say.
Oh wow! So it's
Yeah.
to that T.
Yeah.
Man.
That's why it seems natural.
Oh yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
if we would try to improvise a little bit, it would probably not go very well.
Oh, okay. So you still
Yeah.
need 1,000 more Bruce Lee kicks to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to get to where it's like
Definitely.
you can just wake up and
And honestly, it's not so much about the skill; it's just about doing it more often.
the iterations,
Yeah.
the
And
repetitions.
in
okay.
professional, in any practice, professional just means you do it regardless if you feel good, bad.
Yep.
You do it every day. You do it without thinking.
Mm,
So we're not doing it that often to
I see.
say we do it at that level. We could,
Yep.
but
Dude,
we
let me
haven't gotten there.
Yeah, let me ask you: is there a time where, like, you've been playing, where you lost the groove or something, and
Oh,
you
yeah,
had to
plenty.
recover? And
Yeah.
no, to where do you, when you normally have those kind of, let's say, instances, do you feel like the listeners feel it, or are you playing at such a? Because I feel like you get, for me, right, as a listener on the other end, everything always sounds perfect, right? But for you from your end, is there ever a time, or is it ever not perfect? Is what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah. Every gig is not perfect.
But it sounds perfect to us. It's like they didn't miss a note.
It's probably because there's so much going on, and usually novelty helps too. When you hear something for the first time, you don't hear the details.
Yeah.
But because we've been listening to the same thing so much, we know what everyone else is supposed to be doing. So when someone else doesn't do the thing, we notice it.
I see.
But we have that on our side that people don't listen to it that often us play, so they can't tell.
Got you.
Plus, embracing that on stage, at least for me, is kind of fun.
But then
Like-
it feels like you've gotten to where you can improvise then. Like
I
you
don't know
embrace it and you ride it through.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal too, kind of. Like, I don't know if you noticed Israel and I laughing at each other a little bit
Yep.
on stage.
Yep.
It happened maybe a couple times in the last gig. It's because we messed up and we laughed at each other because we were like, "How
Hey.
you?" I saw that. And we were laughing. And that kind of like helps the stage presence of the gig. Like, us having fun will naturally transfer to people having fun.
That energy.
Yeah. So even messing up isn't that big a deal, really.
I see.
At least for me.
Do you feel like you play that role, the mother of the band?
No.
Not
I
in that
wouldn't
way.
say.
Not in that way.
Like playing?
not
or like-
not playing, but being like, because I feel like in our friend groups, you're usually the glue kind of person, right? Like everybody can come and talk to you, and you can interact with anyone and everybody. It's not like sometimes certain two people are like you wouldn't find them hanging out if you are not there. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So, do you also play that role in the band by the mother? I meant complimentary, not you're the mother of the band. Like you better practice.
Yeah,
no,
I see what you mean.
but being like that, I don't know what you would call it. The vibe. The vibe.
Maybe
I don't know, vibe facilitator or some. I don't know.
Maybe if we talk about musicality, maybe because I'm the only one that can't mess up on stage.
That can or cannot.
Cannot.
Oh, okay. Because everybody is depending on the.
Yeah.
on the beat.
Yeah, on the beat.
Okay.
And even the fills that I do with the drums or the intensity that I give it to the drums tells the band where we're going. So I have more responsibility to make the song that just to keep the song glued, kind of like you said. But I guess if you want to talk about band stuff,
Yeah, here I'm talking about like relationship stuff because I feel like a lot of bands, that's a component, right? It's you have 4 or 5 strong egos. Each person has their own way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
And their own approach, right? Like
I think probably because
that unit for that unit to function smoothly, just like if of any other team, there is somebody usually who plays that role.
Honestly, I think it's Mike. Honestly, it's a little more Mike.
Yeah.
Because he can have a good conversation with everyone. I think what happens with me is just that I'm really close to Israel growing up. That is very natural, and then I'm really close to Mike. Is very natural.
Yep.
Robbie plays guitar. I play guitar. Johnny is kind of new. Robbie and Israel hang out a lot outside of the band. Robbie and Mike kind of talk about gear and guitar all the time, which is cool. You know? So I would think Mike's a little more that way. I guess I never thought about it. He's also usually better at communicating ideas. That's usually what happened whenever we were writing a lot of the songs. Israel would have a crazy idea that was completely to the left, and then Mike wanted this completely to the right thing.
Yeah.
And then I kind of made it a little more to both.
But that's the role that I guess I'm describing.
I guess in the music you would talk about it, but in relationships I think it's more of a Mike thing.
I see.
I think he's a little more patient with. He's just older too, I guess. I don't know.
He's experienced more of life, dude. When are you gonna write some Spanish lyrics, bro?
Spanish lyrics.
Because you've been talking about that.
That's the problem.
But you don't have to sing. You can write, and Mike sings. I feel like Mike can pick up a Spanish accent here. Oh no, Josue can sing too.
Oh, Israel can sing.
Israel cannot sing.
No.
Okay.
No,
I was trying to give him some credit.
No, he could. He could if he wanted.
Yeah.
I think we all could if we wanted. We just
because you've mentioned that you feel like singing is just a matter of training, that anybody can sing.
it's an
at
instrument,
their,
at the range.
Yeah, like Tyler, the creator, can't sing, but he sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good example.
And anybody can auto tune it.
Nah, he sings.
He sings,
Yeah, not very pretty,
but he sings.
but he sings like him.
So yeah. So when are those Spanish lyrics coming out, bro? Because that's a whole other audience too you can tap into.
I don't know. I have to get back to you with that. I gotta write some music first.
I
think I write music first before I write new lyrics, and that's actually been not a problem. But Mike always makes fun of us, Israel and I, because we don't know what our songs are saying a lot of the times. And that was I attribute that to growing up listening to so much music in English. I didn't know English fully. So I just liked the songs for the melody.
Not the words.
So my
really.
focus was immediately like the music. It wasn't the lyrics.
That makes sense.
Which actually I've learned to try to purposefully listen to the lyrics because it's a huge part of the song. But I'm also from the tribe that it's a lot of times it's not that important.
The lyrics?
Yeah. If you're gonna write a song and you want the lyrics to be good, you should make the song. Okay, this is gonna be a song where the lyrics shine.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know?
Okay.
At least
okay.
that's how I see it.
That makes sense.
But if you want a
because
song,
you guys, it's like the music, the feel.
yeah, no, and actually the lyrics is one of the strongest part of our songs, I would say. Mike is really good at putting just the way he can. Mike has a talent for writing lyrics that are thoughtful but are not cheesy. Because a lot of people write
First one dies.
first man flies.
First man flies and the second dies.
Yeah. So like,
Dude, I gotta have him on the pod, have him
Yeah,
explain
you should
these
talk about the
lyrics.
lyrics, that'd
Yeah,
be cool.
because what does that mean?
you don't know about the story?
I think he's told. That's the one where it's the military when they're clearing a room, right?
Yeah. Yeah. First man flies and the second dies.
And the second dies.
So that's just a reference to whenever people go and do a raid. Usually, the first man that comes in through the door takes like the first room, and then at the moment, whoever's inside is the surprise factor. They're not gonna do anything to the first one.
Yeah.
But whenever they know something's happening, they shoot. Second one usually gets shot.
Man, what's the inspiration for that song?
I think he had a friend that told him that story.
Oh, okay.
Or told him that concept.
Okay.
But it is kind of wild to think, okay, I'm the second person.
Man.
I'm probably going to get shot.
Whew.
Let's go.
Dude, it's like, I feel like
It's nuts.
the first person, but the first person bears all the courage.
I don't know.
I
I've
mean-
never been into that situation, honestly, but I can see it.
I feel like if you're the one breaking in, but it's crazy that the second one is the one who dies.
I mean,
not always. Not
but
always.
You most likely
I
going to
bet-
get shot.
Yeah, like more statistically more likely.
And the third one just runs away. I don't know.
No, the third one brings the fire big time.
Oh, and you know what? Because you were trying to talk about creativeness, right?
Yes.
I think what I've learned so far is that it comes down to practice, which is so boring. I hate it. I wish it wasn't the case. But creativity is not going to happen if you don't make it happen, kind of thing. Like if you don't put yourself in the situation where to be creative or to have the ability to have a good idea, it's not going to happen.
So it seems like for you, you're equating creativity to mastery.
Sure, yeah.
Like before you can be fully creative.
Same thing with like stage presence we were just talking about. Lyrics, writing, relationships, anything. Like you can expect, I mean, sure it happens, right? People come up with an idea or crazy song and like, oh, I dreamt about this song and I woke up and wrote it and it became a hit.
I was inspired.
Sure, that happens. But not for everyone. So you have to make it happen for yourself.
Or to sustain it maybe.
Yeah.
In order to sustain it and not just be a one hit wonder.
Yeah. So you have to have some discipline and put yourself in the situation to be creative.
Man. Dude, so when you picture yourself, do you picture yourself as like a huge rock star? Like what kind of artist? Like
You know
what does that success look like for you as an artist?
If I were to get my dream, or if I were to describe the dream, honestly, it wouldn't be so much of the getting. And I remember thinking about this when I was just starting to play. I will tell my parents, I want to be the musician that all the musicians know, but I don't want anyone to know who I am.
Ooh.
That's what I always thought would be the coolest
Producer's
type
producer.
of musician. Well, I mean, not so much like however that looks like, right?
Yeah.
If like you're at a party or a get together with all these other musicians, or you're backstage with someone, and then someone that is not in the music industry, like, why is that guy there?
Like who's that dude?
Well, that
who's that
guy-
dude with the clear glasses?
Right. That guy actually wrote like all the music you heard today. Or like that guy actually helped this. Or like you hear that little drum there, that he did that drum. You know, like I think that's the coolest way to be part in the industry, because if at least personally I like music because I like the music, not because I like the fame or the popularity. There's actually a whole like branch of music industry that you can do without being like famous.
And still make the bread?
Yeah, big time. You do scores for music. Scores for movies, or
Okay,
you do
I'm gonna
jingles.
ask a very dumb question here, but I've never understood. What is a score? When somebody say I did a score for a movie, what does that actually mean?
It's just like the soundtrack. You can call it a soundtrack.
So
score.
you made the music for it,
Score, I guess, if you want to be more specific, is like the writing of the music.
like the notes and
the
everything.
notes, yeah, that's what
okay.
the score is.
Okay,
But
I'm not
they use
dumb
it.
in that area
No,
anymore. Thank you for enlightening me.
No.
Now I know.
It does sound different, but it's just the soundtrack. So you can have a whole music career without being in a band or being success or being famous or anything like that.
Dude, you don't want the people screaming, Elias!
I don't know.
Harry,
No.
Harry, Berto!
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if it was some sort of like, if it was backed behind some sort of movement. It would be cool.
Oh,
But I don't
what
know.
kind
If,
of,
but I don't know if about me.
That's an interesting. I never knew you of being a movement, like a political movement kind of thing.
No, it doesn't have to be political. It can be
Hispanic
support of
Lives
something.
Matter.
Sure, yeah, something like that. No, I mean, not really, but I don't know. I don't think I want the focus to be me, but maybe what my songs talk about. That would be cool.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But is it,
That's a little weird, don't you think?
what is,
I've always thought that's weird. Like people that are like, I want to be famous. I want people to know who I am.
No,
and
I don't
sing
think
my
it's-
name. You know, like okay, Hitler,
what's my name again?
chill out, Stalin. You know?
I don't know if I see it. I mean, I see it both ways. I can see somebody having the ambition and saying, I want to be a rock star. That's
Yeah,
like, like my gift to the world is that I rocked it to
I rock. Yeah.
brought whatever.
I
right?
think definitely the live music aspect would be the coolest part of. I'm not saying it would be bad, you know, like if it happens, that's cool. Sure, I'm not gonna complain, right?
Yeah.
But I think the coolest part of that is being able to travel and play at these crazy venues. I think that would be one of the best parts of if you want to go to the famous route.
But you don't. For you, it's definitely not the full.
It's not about
Mike
me,
Jagger. Hotel room, break hotel rooms,
No.
doing cocaine, doing crazy stuff.
I don't think so. No, I would rather like wake up,
Yeah.
go to the studio, write some
peaceful.
music with people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something interesting.
Yeah.
I downloaded this app called I don't know if I mentioned it last time. Impulse. Have you heard of it?
No, I've not.
It's just a daily mental exercises, and it's just a lot of them are just like games or like addition, subtraction, numbers, figures, shapes. I actually think it would be pretty funny for you to do one of these live because
I'm not doing the shape word, man.
Yeah. You have to tell it. I'll tell it.
Yeah, go ahead.
One time, we talk about shapes because one time Joe in college during the summer he wanted a job and he heard that 7-Eleven was hiring.
Yep. At $14 an hour.
$14 an hour was way more than Hobby Lobby or whatever other place.
Discount tire.
Discount tire. So he goes to do the test because there's like a minimal requirement of brain power test that you have to make sure that you're not that you can work a register.
Yep.
And they gave him this test that had some cubes and shapes and stuff, and he had to say how many cubes are in this shape. And then somehow Joe failed massively this test.
I failed it.
Because in his mind they could have put one of those blocks behind them. So he accounted for the cheating that the 7-Eleven was gonna do to make him fail this test.
I counted for the phantom block that could be there.
Yeah, it could be an extra hidden sneaky block in the back.
Oh,
So
man.
he was not destined to work at 7-Eleven.
No,
I guess.
7-Eleven said I didn't cut it. I didn't cut it to work. Dude, I thought though.
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, I mean,
The psychopath, bro. What do you
but
mean?
think about it. I thought there would be something behind it because if you're like arranging a shelf, right? If I present
look.
you something, there's something behind the
Maybe-
shelf.
I'm gonna take a screenshot and see if you can put it on. I guess you don't have a. This is what you would have social media for.
Oh,
Here, do
Is
that. Do that. What is that cube? Joe is looking at a cube. He's looking at a flat cube and he
Yep.
has to pick, and every face of the cube has different emojis. So he has a list of emojis that the cube could turn into. So he's gonna have to pick the cube that would turn into the shape of the flat cube. I hope that made sense.
Okay. Like I have to make it.
So
it's like an open box and I'm trying to close the box.
Yes. And
Does it matter how I close this box?
See what I'm saying? It has to match the emojis.
But does it matter which one goes first?
No, it's just the complete cube.
Bro, come on, man. You know I'm super analytical. Wait a minute here. Okay, but what? So
Yeah, I'll do one.
Wait, hold on. Hey, dude,
Hold on.
it's a clarification. Is so this emoji that says also on the backside?
Okay, so all of those faces
Yes.
are the outside.
Okay, thank you. You should have. You see, this is like the 7-Eleven thing. That's what I was trying to ask. Like, you know, like this looks like the inside of the box.
Think
so
about
if I
this, though.
folded everything.
Think about this though.
Okay.
If you close it, none of the faces is gonna be in the outside.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. So that's why I wanted to clarify if the face is on the outside.
Okay.
Okay, so this face will be here, and this will be here, this will be here. So this guy will be on top. This guy will need to be on top. So this will be one of the outsides.
I want to see you pick the option.
This will be one of the outside, and this cool guy. So this guy and this guy have to be on.
You can probably cut this part of the podcast.
Oh no, this is the interesting part.
But then hurry up and pick one so we can get to what we're trying to say.
Yay!
Nice.
I got it.
Well, it has little things like this, right?
Ah.
But within
those,
it...
But those are IQ tests.
Sure. That's what I was going to say.
Mm.
Within this, there's different tests.
Oh, that's
Personality
really
test, left brain, right brain,
cool. I wonder what that left brain,
trauma and
right brain test.
fear, stress level, procrastination type. There's a procrastination type. I actually learned that. That was really cool.
So what's your type?
My type is that I have to relax before I do my work. And that's actually helped me a ton to, if I need to get something done or if I want to do something at a certain hour,
Yep.
I give myself like 20 minutes
To chill before?
Before that. So I tell myself I have to start at this time. But I really have those 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm gonna
Because there's some
I'm gonna
people that
get the app.
There's some people that their procrastination is like in between. Isn't that crazy?
Like they start, then they stop.
They start and they have to stop and then they keep going.
Those.
But you have to do the test to know.
Okay. I'm curious on that one. I feel like mine will be like yours. Like for me, before I don't like feeling like, oh, this thing is like a monumental. I just like to feel like, okay, I'm just here doing this thing.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's the mood I enter it in.
Yeah. So, but the really interesting one, at least for me, and to tie it to what we were talking about, is that I did a personality test.
Oh.
And I have the INFJ.
Oh, so they go from those ones. Okay. Uh-huh.
And it's like the weirdest one. It's like 1% of men have it. And 1% of women.
That's why you get stomach cramps.
Yeah, that's why I get stomach cramps. And not stitches or whatever you call it.
Just had to. Okay.
But
what is it?
Strengths takes commitments very so okay, I want you to tell me if this sounds like me.
Okay.
And
Let's go. We'll go one by one.
I mean, no, just general.
Okay.
Strengths takes commitments very seriously, warm, friendly, and affirming by nature, highly creative and artistic, sensitive to the needs of others, communicate thoughts clearly, good listeners.
Yep.
That's the strengths.
That sounds precisely like you.
Weakness, difficult to get to know, avoids confrontation, conflicts, and criticism.
Wait a minute. I don't know. The difficult get to know, I don't know if I agree about that.
Okay.
The second one, I definitely agree with. The avoids
Really?
like you prefer to have peace.
Sure.
And take, like, if I ask you, hey, do you want A or B? You always say, it depends. It can be A or B.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can be overly sensitive, have extremely high expectations for themselves and others.
High expectation, overly sensitive. I'm not sure. I don't think.
I'm a little sensitive in some areas. Maybe I don't show it. Stubborn.
But
My
the
stomach.
next one.
Sensitive stomach. Not good with money. Have difficult leaving a bad relationship.
Good.
Those
I
are
think you're good with money.
general weaknesses, I guess.
Okay. I guess what was the third one? That one I agreed with.
Can be overly sensitive.
No. High expectations of yourself and others.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I agree. They're not good with money. I've never seen you struggle with money like that. Like
Yeah.
to act and be like, oh, this guy is not good with money. And the last one?
Have difficult leaving a bad relationship. Maybe. But we were talking about what were we talking about before that? The creativity part of it.
Yes.
Well, what I was trying to get to is that it has helped me to kind of understand a little bit better about my personality and my procrastination type and all that stuff to like put myself in the best spot to be creative. And I don't know. I think this is a cool app. It gave me my IQ
what
score.
Is it? Yeah. What is it called again?
Impulse.
Impulse. Okay.
I actually don't think I have a good IQ.
What's your? I don't know. Are you willing to disclose that to the public?
114.
Dude, that's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's all right.
I mean, it's good. I think above what 100 or something, you can go and get a PhD.
I don't know. I actually had a range here. Where is it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, anything above 80, like below 80, even your I don't know if it's still the case, but I think below 80, the military usually will not admit you.
Really?
Yeah, it's even them. They're like,
I
hey,
thought you were
bro,
gonna say they
you come
admit
here.
you.
No, you cause more harm than good. I think above 80, you should be fine to do everything, and then like, I mean, I don't know if IQ.
General IQ test here.
Yeah, because at 160 or whatever that height, I mean, it's a cool story, bro.
Yeah, 114. More intelligent than 60 for 76% of the population.
Hey, dude,
I don't know.
You're not average, man.
Yes. But here, math, computer and science, engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's the score for being able to do that stuff. Man, that's terrible. The last one is education at 96.
96.
Like people that have that, it gives you a range of people that have that IQ are usually tend to do those things.
I see. No, but which is the one you said where you're not like most people?
The personality test.
Personality. Okay. But that's it. Have you done the one that they actually use now in the industry? What is it called? What's the name of that test? I think the abbreviation is like OCEAN. It's the one that Jordan Peterson talks about, where they measure your openness, extroversion, this word is always a tough word.
Conscientiousness?
Yeah, thank you. Hey, are you saying it in Spanish first and then translating it to English? Conscientiousness, and I can't speak today. Neuroticism. It's like how you interact with negative emotion.
No,
I think that one is it's a deeper
IQ?
one. No.
It's just a personality
test.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think that's now the industry standard that's used. Yeah. And the way they came about it was pretty fascinating. It's that they asked all these, like a battery of questions, and then they statistically, based on those questions, they grouped those different personality traits. So quite fascinating. Yeah, dude. But on creativity, though, you come from like a family. You're just telling me today. You come from a family of like super creative people. You told me how about your grandpa was like a fashion icon. You can call them that in Mexico in the 80s.
So my great grandfather was he owned a lot of clothing stores in the 30s.
Oh, the 30s. Okay. I don't know why I got the 80s.
40s, 30s, 40s. No. The great-grandfather.
Oh, okay. So before the war.
Yeah. After the Mexican Revolution, actually.
When was that?
1910. There was an independence in 1910 and then a revolution in 1910. In 1910, what happened is that we got a kind of a dictator thing guy.
El Chapo del Deseo?
No, he was one of those that got elected every year, you know.
Oh, with 99.8%.
Right. But he is the one. But one of the. I mean, he was bad in that regard, but he brought a lot of industrial advancements to Mexico where they weren't any.
He brought in.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow. So he was a benevolent. He was a benevolent dictator. Would you say?
Yes, but he would also tax people because he felt like it. So like, you know.
So a benevolent dictator with a cartel mindset.
I think it was just more. I don't know honestly, but he brought in a lot of ideas from more advanced countries. He just implemented them very poorly.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
a lot of the good things that he brought in was, you know, manufacturing and.
So he industrialized Mexico pretty much.
Mexico,
Wow.
yeah.
What was this guy's name?
Porfirio Diaz. Porfirio Diaz.
Porfirio Diaz.
Porfirio Diaz.
Porfirio Diaz.
Yes.
Okay.
So at that time, my great grandfather was had all these stores, but he designed the clothing.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
And he little by little he bought like machines to do the clothing like at a big scale. And then this is what my grandma would tell me. He also, as he was buying the machines, he would make sure to hire people that were just low resources, agricultural farmer people. Hey, if you want, you can come with us. We'll teach you how to make clothes.
Man, that's cool.
And he ended up with like factories of clothing. So he had the brain to do all that, right?
Yep.
He had my grandma always tells me that whenever he threw like extravagant parties.
Dude, if you're like the main fashion guy, bro, like you got to. She
said that he always did that, and he also made sure to give all of his employees, like, you know, when the party was happening, they would give them food and things to take home. Like he was like a proper like man of the people, you know. And he was very crafty with the business and stuff like that. My grandma would say that he would go to New York, and at that time, like 30s, 40s, he would go to New York and different
so how do you
countries.
even go to New York? Were there trains? I guess
That's what my grandma said. I don't know.
Wow.
I guess.
Did Mexico have trains?
This was in Mexico City, so it was like the capital of Mexico. So it was the most.
Okay.
It was like the more advanced part of Mexico.
Well, I was imagining him going from Juarez, bro.
No.
Take a horse and buggy.
No, the story goes lots of twists and turns, but eventually, the Mexican IRS, I guess, that's when like the first years where they were implementing their taxing and stuff like that.
And with this dictator, dictator Reelsmo, who was in power, was he still in power at that time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But it was still all very Western, like all West, or what is it?
Wild West.
Wild West.
Yeah.
In the sense that they would implement it, but they didn't even know how to keep track of it and stuff like. So my grandpa was like, "I'm not paying taxes to you." Imagine imagine the first day that someone tells you gotta pay taxes.
I'd be like, you're stealing.
Right.
Like, what makes you different from a thief?
Exactly. So what he did, and this was actually, I guess, cool in a sense. He, instead of paying taxes, because they wanted to arrest him and take all his stuff, he just sold everything and gave it to his mom, and then took all of his family to Juarez.
No way.
Yeah, so
dude,
that's what happened.
Wow, that's crazy.
So he was just like, I'm not giving anyone anything, and I don't
dude,
care if I lose all my businesses.
Yep. But you're not getting it.
You're not getting any of it.
Dude, he pulled a Hakimi. Have you heard of
Is?
Hakimi?
No, what is that?
Hakimi is this Moroccan football player who he's still playing now. He apparently he was married, and then when they were getting a divorce, when the wife showed up to the to the table, he found out that all of the assets were under Hakimi's mom's name, so he couldn't
Really?
get anything.
Oh wow. Yeah, he pulled a Hakim.
Wow!
But what you were saying about people being creative,
Yes,
like
that's a very creative way to.
it was a creative way to
Yeah.
get out of that. And you know, there's a lot of twists and turns in that story. But even my grandma, like whenever she moved, whenever they were all spoiled growing up, they learned how to sew and do all that, but they never had to do it for a living.
So
But
by
whenever-
then he was already wealthy.
Yes.
But okay.
But whenever he
is your
sold-
grandma like one of many? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
She's one of like 9.
Hey,
Yeah.
great
But-
great grandmama did some work.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But whenever she moved, or whenever all of them moved, she was one of the youngest. So no, one of the older ones. So no, whenever they moved to Juarez, Juarez was also kind of a developing city because it was border town of El Paso.
Yes.
In El
This
Paso.
is in southern U.S. or what? Okay.
Yeah, Texas.
Yep.
So there was a lot of manufacturing going on and stuff like that. But going back to the creativity part of it, they were my great grandfather was like, okay, we don't have anything anymore. You all gonna have to work now. So everyone just started working, and what my grandma knew what to do was to sew and design dresses and stuff like that. And at first, the first few jobs that she had to do was to make clothing for the strippers.
What?
Yeah, because that was the only job that she could find. Like, she lived in this, like, they moved to this like apartment complex that was kind of just not very nice.
Yeah.
So a lot of like, I mean, you think strippers, you think of the ones now, right?
Yes.
They're like from the 40s.
Okay. They were just showing ankles.
Yeah,
back
they
then.
were showing legs, and they had the feather like outfits.
Yeah.
And so like
Oh,
my
okay,
grandma
okay.
was designing.
Dude, that is an interesting turn. Was it?
Right. I mean, a lot happened in between there, but
So did he lose the wealth? Like,
so what happened was that
Mm-hmm.
he. I'm trying to write a story about this. That's why I'm not giving too many.
Okay.
But
Yes.
the
Yeah.
biggest,
Just give us the highlights. Don't.
The biggest twist there is that, which is actually pretty crazy. He had a whole other family.
What?
Had a
On
whole-
top of these 9? Oh, not on top. Like
he had another whole family that he left back in Mexico City, and had all these daughters too and kids.
so they're the ones who received the.
They didn't receive all the money, but he just basically ran out of money taking care of both families.
Big pimping.
Yeah,
big pimping.
Big artist, I guess.
Wow.
But I guess my grandma didn't know till later. But yeah, so my grandma, I guess, was able to be creative in the sense like she just used what she had and started doing dresses for them, and then eventually she's just got some name or some notoriety, and then she started doing dresses for other people and stuff like that. But
Man, it's just like what you're saying about the music, the repetitions.
yeah,
The creativity can come first, but the repetition is what gets you that mastery, and then on the flip side of that, people see it. Dude,
Yeah.
that's cool. So was it because your grandma is she's what, in her 80s now maybe?
Yeah.
So she was in magazines and stuff, like her work was featured in that kind of line or what?
Eventually, my grandma, and she was a lot like my grandpa, and kind of like me. Like they cared more for the creation aspect of it,
The craft.
and not so much for the notoriety. Because what my grandma ended up doing later is that she built her own little shop in her house, and she would do these are called escaramuzas dresses. These are dresses that there's this like cultural dancing in Mexico that they do at like rodeos.
Are those the like really kind of twirly ones where they go like that?
Yeah, those long dresses.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So
Escaramuzas.
that's what it's called.
I like that word.
Escaramuzas.
Escaramuzas.
And she learned how to make those, and she was just so good that a lot of her clients, she got a few clients, and people were like, "Who's making these?" Oh, these little old lady in Juarez is making them. What? We gotta go talk to her. And she would just kind of like ask for whatever money. It was like, just
What?
give me because my grandpa. I mean, at the time, the woman wasn't supposed to be the
breadwinner.
My dad,
Oh, okay.
my grandpa had a good job,
I see.
so she was just doing it for the passion.
It was just a side hustle.
I mean, it still helped, but whenever she would charge, she was like, just give me this, or stuff like that, right? So eventually, what I guess her biggest, notoriety success story is that these people started noticing her, and some of the more famous competitions, like it went to the competition level. A lot of people would now do the rodeos with scaramuzas, and there were like teams of like 16, 20 girls or ladies doing the dancing.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just like in Spain, particularly, the competition was like how pretty the dresses were. It wasn't just like
the dance
how well
or the
they dance,
choreography.
it was just like it's like a fashion show for those types of dresses.
Yeah.
And of course they grade the performance and all that.
Yep.
But her dresses were like in the newspaper in Spain.
And she's in Mexico, in Juarez by this
she's
time.
in Juarez. And
Wow.
and whenever she made the dresses, she made like 20 of them. She made
so
20
it's
of them at
limited
once.
edition.
Yes, limited, handmade, hand sewed. I should show you some pictures. They're beautiful.
Dude, please.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And she did that for a lot of people, a lot of competitions. She would make all my, and I mean this is separate, but she would make all my mom and my uncle's clothes. My mom to the day.
Yeah.
This actually blew my mind. To the day, my mom goes to Ross to buy clothes. Right?
Uh-huh.
It's
Is Ross in Juarez?
in El Paso.
Oh, okay.
She goes to Ross. It's accessible.
Yep.
The women's clothing are everywhere. In Mexico, they don't care for brands as much. But she goes to the stores, right? Even if it's the mall or wherever, and she looks at the fabric and she's like, I don't want this. Like she's not so much about the price tag. She looks at the fabric and she's like, yeah, this is pretty good fabric for this price. I'm gonna buy this and then I'm gonna cut it and then I'm gonna make this.
Wow.
Dude,
like that is nice.
That's what my mom was telling me. Like until I married your dad,
Yeah.
I'd never bought a single piece of clothing. Like
She made
at
it
our
herself.
house, my grandma, like your grandma made them, or I made them for myself.
Dude, and it's not like the crazy part is that they're making it better than if you bought it.
Yeah,
Because it's like the professional.
Tailored exactly for them.
Dude, you should ask her to tailor us some suits, bro.
No, I'm gonna learn how to do those dresses. I wanna pass.
Oh,
I wanna pass on that skill because my mom knows how to make them.
Dude, I'll take one for my future
Yeah,
daughters,
sure.
man. Like just the word itself sounds so nice, but those dresses are so pretty. Like I've seen
Crazy.
them. Yeah.
And there's some ugly ones too.
Oh.
But
they should make a competition for the ugly ones
flat.
too.
They're just kind of flat. That's what they are.
I see.
But just to go in life and think about, oh, I have this skill, instead of just like, oh, this doesn't fit me, I'm gonna return it. Just like, I'm gonna actually cut it in pieces and put it together that way I want it. Dude. Like that's just so creative that the whole time you're being creative about that.
And the flexibility that opens you up to, because you can go to any store. You can even go to a thrift store and you're buying the material. You're not buying the good itself.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom would find really quality clothing that it was just really cheap, and she would buy it just because it was good fabric.
Man.
Even growing up myself, if there were some jeans I liked or mostly pants.
Yeah.
I would ask my mom, hey, I want these pants, but you think you can do this to them? Like, yeah. So I would just buy them. And then my mom would measure my leg, and how much you want, how much off you want, how tall, how little. And then she would put pins and stuff, and the next day they were like I wanted them.
the process for me, the equipment and process for tailoring that has always just looked like it would be so relaxing to do. Is just holding those big scissors and the way they like once they chalk, they do the chalk and they get the line like that sound and that motion feels like it's so relaxing to do.
I remember my grandma going like this, with the
and
scissors.
Cutting it straight.
Yeah, it was just so fast. You would just
That's
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And oh my god, it was so cool because she made changes to clothing, right? And I would see my mom and my grandma talk. Oh yeah, do this, and then they talk about sewing terms.
Yeah.
And they would just grab a little chalk and they would just go like on the little pieces of clothing, just like one line, no ruler, like just like here, all right, scissors, and it's super cool.
Dude, that's like it seems like that's that version of the way you're saying performing, like you've done it so many times that it's so authentic. It's just like zip, zip.
My grandma,
the sword has become part of your hand.
To the day my grandma, her 2 index fingers are like crooked like this.
From sewing?
From the machine, from going like this.
Oh.
If you see, her 2 fingers are like out like this. Just from going like this so much.
Man, dude, we gotta say thank you to your grandma, because your grandma made us a bag for a DJ mixer. Remember in college?
God, yeah,
when we
that's
had
true.
our stint that we're gonna start a DJing business. We bought a mixer.
That's true.
Somebody stole that mixer. I'm still convinced to this day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna out them in this podcast, but I think I know who it is. But we'll put that to the side. But she made us like a bag that fit that mixer perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, she was always doing that stuff. It was awesome. Pretty cool. But yeah, man, I was lucky to grow up in a very creative environment. Because even my dad, he can't sing or dance or anything. Well, he can dance, but
He can crack jokes.
he can crack jokes.
Just like I told you on that first podcast, dude, your dad looks like he's always saying something funny, man. I just need to learn Spanish at this point.
He's always saying something funny. And it was just his family. They were all funny because they were all miserable.
The only way to survive it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he was also always really good at selling.
Selling
Selling
things.
things.
Selling things. Uh-huh.
So he's always been really creative at how to make money too. Just growing up, not having money and having to figure out.
Be creative with your options. Man. Whew. Dude, you should do a podcast with your grandma and ask about just that process of creativity and stuff.
That'd be cool to have.
Yeah.
If my dad was in town, I would probably try to have a podcast with him.
You're going to Mexico soon. Just go and do it.
That could be cool.
Right?
He and I crack each other up so much because we just make fun of each other. And he always thinks he says one thing, and I tell him that he didn't say that, and then he goes downhill. Not downhill, but it goes infinite. Oh, like the latest. Man, I don't know if this will be funny for the podcast, but I'll tell you because it's funny to me. He's always been. He always thinks people are after him to bother him. You know, like the old school man type of like.
Just leave me alone.
No, just like I go out to the restaurant and somehow there's no ice. You know, like, or I go to the gas station and somehow they're or I go to the 7-Eleven and somehow they're doing a register change and now they're making me wait. You know, like very cartoony, like the world's against me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my family and I always give him crap because somehow he always finds himself in that situation. So we're like, have you ever thought that maybe it's just you?
Is it? Yeah, you're the one creating the situation, and it just arises.
We were in Cancun, right? We were in what is the word? Paradise. We were in Cancun.
Yep.
Everything included.
No worries, no pain.
There's a cafe that they have coffee and ice cream. My dad gets there. First thing he says, "Can I have some of that strawberry ice cream?" And they go, "We only have lime." And then he's already going, "Nyam, nyam, nyam." He's like, "Okay, I'll take some lime in a cup." And then he goes, we only have cones. And then my dad's like, yum, yum, yum. And then he's like, hey, I see some cups right there. You want to put it in that cup? And then he goes, we can't use those cups. Those are for the coffee. And then
no way.
no, I know it gets better. And then my dad is like making faces like yum, yum, yum. And he's always been really good at like reeling it in when we're there because he knows that it's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
So he's like yum, 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 okay. And then eventually we're just chatting or whatever, waiting for the ice cream. And they grab the cup and they give him ice cream on the cup he mentioned.
Oh.
And then
They
he's like-
listened.
yeah. So he was like, he was telling me, see, it's not until I make a face or like do yum 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 that they actually help you. Like no one wants to help you until you have to be like this.
Assertive.
And then I crack up because I'm like, no, like you just ask nicely.
Yeah.
And then it was like, how about you just go look at the ice cream and you go to the ice cream. Yum, 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 yum. So maybe it'll taste a little sweeter or something. So I was just picturing him just making faces to
man.
the cone like yum, 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 yum. But just to say that something like stuff like that would always come up when we're together, and I just make fun of him. He makes fun of me.
Dude, that's an awesome relationship
It's
y'all
hilarious.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Dude, I bet they're gonna
And when
be
my
happy.
sister's there and my mom is there, the four of us,
Yeah.
it's an infinite. Just
So
like,
who gets roasted the most?
Depends. Depends on who lets it happen. You gotta have a quick comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta be quick on your feet.
creative, I guess,
Yee.
on your feet.
Man. Dude, this has been nice.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for sharing on just the creative process from your end when it comes to music.
I remember
Yeah.
just last thing to
Go ahead.
close on this. What I was bringing up the personality test thing is that one of the personality things that I actually made a lot of sense that I'm realizing, focusing on more, is that if we go to the test right here, the important part for me, which makes sense based on this test, is the creation part of it. So what I find joy in everything that I do is when I can, out of nothing, make something. So when you apply that to almost everything, like on my job,
Yep.
I enjoy coming up with something, finding a solution. In music, my favorite part about the music is writing, like the creation aspect of it,
rather than the
performance or the or all that.
So the performance is just because you.
Because it's
Is
part
there
of
a creativeness to the performance too?
it. Yeah,
Or to you still it's
could
not
be.
it's not the maximum joy is you'll rather be in the studio creating one bang after the next.
yeah, yeah. And anything that I do, like the creative part, is what brings me the most joy. Like even just like I said, like learning how to make that dress. I just want to learn how to do it because I want to like create it.
I see.
I don't care to make a business or I don't care to like sell it.
I see.
I just want to know how to do it. So by learning that, or I guess not by learning it, but making it so specific, I realized that that's helped me stay on top of what I want to get done. Like if I realize that let's say I have a goal, I have to put things throughout the journey that have to do with creating things for me to stay consistent.
And like stay engaged.
Because if it's a grind every time,
yeah.
it ends up being boring.
I see.
Like even like with working out, I enjoy boxing because I was like learning the proper boxing moves.
Hey,
It wasn't because I was trying.
Mike Tyson up in here.
Nah, not even close. It wasn't because I was working out. It was because I was like in my head. I was like creating this ability. When I'm learning
Like drawing. I remember you started doing drawing.
Yeah, even drawing. Cooking, I like cooking because I like the creation aspect of the cooking.
I like cooking because I like the eating aspect of cooking, bro. Forget the creation.
That's pretty
man.
nice too.
Put that food in my mouth.
Nah. But like learning something and like creating it it's what gives me joy, I guess. But until you know what gives you joy in whatever things you do, you won't be able to tailor your choices.
Oh, I like that. I like, man, you've gone digging for wisdom within yourself.
I have done a lot of that recently.
A lot of
Big time.
introspection.
Yeah, a lot of it.
In what form? Like for you, how do you do that? Is it journaling or what has that been?
I think mentally,
the process of that journey.
I just
for you.
mentally try to be more aware of how things make me feel. Because I think growing up, there's all these like preconceived notions of what you should be enjoying. Growing up, you should be enjoying a good career.
Yeah.
You should be enjoying a family.
Yep.
Like all that is good, right?
Yep.
But what about it makes you excited? You know, growing up, be in good health, right? But like, what part of being in good health is what you enjoy of it? You know, you can't just like follow all these
Cookie cutter
things that sound like you should enjoy. It's more about, yes, these are clearly good things, but you have to find within it what parts of it make you happy. Like when we got the dog,
Yeah.
it was super fun to me to train the dog. Because it was like, I'm learning a new skill here. I'm creating that. So
You're creating the animal.
Kinda.
You're socializing the animal.
yeah,
in
something
essence, yeah.
like that. So like, for some people, it could be.
I just thought of something very interesting.
Well, for you, what could it be? Maybe.
For the thing that gives me joy.
Yeah, like of the things you already enjoy doing. What's the part that you enjoy? Because a lot of people enjoy the planning.
I enjoy the planning.
But is it what makes them? Well, I don't know if it is or not, but for some people, that's their favorite part. Like, yeah, I'm waking up, we're doing this.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my pen on the paper and plan this.
I love that part.
You know,
Like, I think for me, I enjoy the brainstorming and the planning and like bringing different minds together and facilitating that process. I love it.
another example of that is like with cooking, right? Let's
Yes.
use cooking because it's easier.
Dude, I always prep and you always
Create, yeah. Some people love to like make a list of the ingredients, and
Yeah.
going to the store
Yeah.
is their favorite part of the cooking.
Oh no, I don't
You know
like
what I'm
going
saying?
to the store. Yeah.
Some people, like for example with Mike,
Yeah.
Mike loves to like invent things. Like if a thing has a solution, but he can come up with a way to like saw this bench and screw a leg that has a glue thing.
Yep.
Another thing has wheels somehow.
Yep.
He's like so happy that happened. You know?
I see.
So like, just to not get too far from the topic, like if you're able to pinpoint what part of what you're doing is your favorite part, that applies to everything else. And it's much easier to make choices.
I think I've narrowed down to the part that I enjoy the most. Like if we're to use that cooking example. Like anytime we'll cook, the two of us, and let's say we're cooking for a large group of people, I enjoy the prep. Like I usually took that on, like, yo, make sure my knives are there. I'm the one chopping the bell peppers. Nobody
Okay,
touch
yeah.
that. And then you be on the other side. I'll give you the ingredients and you'll cook. Right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for me, like, I could do the cooking, but it was never the part that gave me the joy. It was like cutting those little bell peppers and tomatoes into my perfect dice, right?
Yeah.
And just like seeing the colors and feeling the freshness, and then I will give it on to you. So same thing, even like at with developing and stuff, or anything like a project, I enjoyed that initial stage of, okay, guys, okay, boom, let's coordinate people, let's facilitate this thing, let's all get together in a room, get to talking, get to doing, get the plan rolling, right? And get the plan rolling and get the right people doing what they need to do. But the part of like, I'm going to be the one in the doing the steps 1, 2, 3, that bogs me down. It bogs, and I've noticed it, and I've realized it, and I've been like, okay. The analogy that I use, it's like I'm swimming against the river. When you put me to that minute of detail, I can do it because I'm also, okay, it needs to get done. I always have that perspective, but it's not. It takes so much of my energy to do that. But if you just like, I'm here, we planned, we brainstormed, and then we made it efficient, dude.
Yeah.
I thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess think about just going back to what I was saying. Like in the last few months, I've been just more intentional about realizing how I feel when things happen. Like, for example, if I was at some point stressed about my health or something like that, I would, instead of trying to be stressed, I would try to think, before I got stressed, what was happening around me that I became stressed? Or if something really good happened, what happened before that or during it that made me that happy or excited, or, and even something as simple as like, I realized that I have a hierarchy of like, I guess recharging, if you want to call it like that, like sleeping, working out, and eating.
Yeah.
I noticed that I could not work out that day, but I slept well. I had just the same energy as if I woke up. I have better energy or better mood versus if I woke up early to work out.
Oh, I see.
But for some people, it's the other way.
Yeah.
Some people rather not sleep as well and work out, and they feel way better than if they slept more.
I think for me, if I wake up, it's that feeling that I woke up and conquered. And I conquered that laziness of being in bed. That's what gives me more
better mood.
Better joy. Even if I'm a little tired that day, I'll be like, dude, I woke up before the sun came out. I beat the sun today. And as Confucius said, any man who wakes up 365 days a year before the sun comes out is bound to succeed. Like that kind of attitude gives me joy. And I'll sacrifice the sleep.
So if you're able to pinpoint what brings you joy about the small things, you can try to make sure to have some of that through the day, so you can stay consistent in your other tasks.
I see that. What got you on this journey of like just?
I think just
introspection,
just getting old.
Getting older. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you're
tired
fancy,
of just.
No, you just
You're
make
tired of trial and error.
I think you get to at least myself. I get to a point where I can give myself some. This is the best chance. I'm trying to give myself a chance to like do what I want to do with my life. But in order for that to happen, I had to get that in order. Kind of.
I see. I see. The discipline.
Maybe leave some old habits behind. Kind of thing.
Yeah. Dude, I had Dana White say something, and I'm trying to get to where I can be at this level. He was like, I hate sleeping. Like, I love my life so much.
Yeah.
Like, I love every waking moment of my life that it just sucks that I have to sleep. And I was like, dude, I want to get to that point where it's like, I cannot wait to where I don't have to sleep anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't wait to wake up.
I can't wait to wake up. Yeah. No, well, we need to sleep. But I can't wait to wake up.
Yeah.
And it seems like the first step is like fine-tuning those habits.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be any like a crazy. I think people and I think it's a consequence of social media too, and people that subscribe to following each other. Like, they see all these people in these like spiritual journeys to discover their inner tiger, and it gets so boring. Like spend more like people that are actually doing that are not posting about it online.
Yeah.
So like it's not. It's
Discover the inner tiger.
you know what I mean.
Discover the lion within.
Yeah.
Awaken the giant.
So lame. So it's just as simple as like what makes you happy, and then try to make sure you sprinkle some of that through the day so you can do all the things you don't want to do but that you know are good for you, kind of thing.
What does that pursuit look like on the spiritual front for you
You know,
in this season of life?
I think it's been cool in the sense that, and I think this is something just from talking to you, because I remember that chat we had about Halloween.
Yes.
How spirituality, there's a spiritual meaning, there's a spiritual intention behind things.
Yes.
So I actually, like I've been saying that I've tried to be more intentional about how I feel about when I do things or certain situations happen. I'm trying to be a little more intentional about how it makes my spirit feel too. Although they're kind of the same, in a sense they're just different, you know. Some of them, happiness is different than like peace, you know, kind of thing. I think spiritual gives you more peace type of feeling, and the other one makes you a little more just dopamine happiness.
Yeah, like a fleeting moment versus a state.
Right. So, yeah. So I've been more intentional about realizing when that's around me, you know. I wouldn't say it's super like same thing as like with the spiritual tiger, like you know, I'm not gonna be floating in Ethereum tomorrow, you know. But it's still important to denote and to be aware of.
So are you doing like meditation or what?
No, not necessarily.
Just
it's just more about
meditating on the word of God.
It's just a more holistic kind of like, how is everything around me feeling kind of thing. I actually I went to Life Church a couple weeks ago. And the story of Jonah was the one that was being preached that day, and it was really interesting to see all these stories, these biblical stories as an adult, because they're I think they just mean different things now because you're an adult, you know, and just reflecting on that.
So how did that one hit different? Because the basis is what? God sends Jonah. He refuses. He gets swallowed by a belly. He gets swallowed by a whale. 3 days later, he gets spit out, and he still has to go deliver the message.
Whenever you're a kid, whenever you're a kid, is just simplified, and you think of Jonah as, you think of the belly as a bad thing that happened to Jonah. But as an adult, you realize that the whale is a representation of something bad, but that was for your good, for your own good. That led you to where you needed to go. So I used to be, at least I've realized in the last few months that a lot of the bad, like in my mind, self-inflicting harmful things that I did to myself, that I have to let them go and not stop blaming myself for them, and try to see them as like the whale, something that happened to me that at least put me in the right direction.
Because you can't change it.
You can't change it.
Yeah.
And I actually heard this from I'm playing this video game called God of War, and it has some of the coolest like writing ever. There's this mission that you have to do, that you have to free this whale. It's actually a whale.
A whale?
That's actually nuts. I'm just thinking about it. You have
If people are, if we were still lumping lights with whale fat, I bet now there'll be a free the whale movement.
Right.
Free the whale. They have feelings too.
They do. Well, there's a whale that is chained to this place, right? And it's been changed for hundreds of years. So much that it's built, there's like a city on top of the whale now. There's like buildings and stuff like that.
Dude, that must be cool graphics in a video game
it's
for them to represent that.
It's really cool.
That must-
So as the guy, you have to go and free the whale, right? It's just
And then the city
It's just
dies?
a side mission.
Okay.
It's not a city. It's like it just has buildings and no buildings, like construction. There's bad guys that you have to kill. and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So like you free the whale, right? And with you have this companion that used to be a god, but now he's just a beheaded god. And he follows you around, right? And he tells you where to go, and you ask him questions. He used to work for Odin. That was his thing. And he gifted the whale to Odin as a sign of respect or something like that. And
So this god of war is based in the Viking kind of mythology?
Yes.
Because Odin is the...
Yes,
Okay,
yes, a lot of it
I was
is.
like, Odin, that sounds familiar. Okay, continue.
And eventually you free the whale, and the guy that is like he's helping you out, that he's the one that chained the whale. You as the character, the god of Kratos is his name. He tells him, you know this whale will never be free, right? And then he says, I know, but we should still try. Meaning, the story of, something is chained for years, it doesn't know how to be free kind of thing.
I see.
So you free the chains, the whale floats up, and then it's not moving, and everyone's like, why is it not moving? And then Kratos is just old. He's just old and smart. He's like, you will never take away you can take away the chains, but you take away the slave or something like that. And then they get close to the eye to talk to the whale, and then he starts talking to it, and then he says, because he has his son with him. His son is Loki, actually, and he can talk to animals.
Loki.
Yeah, he can talk to
Loki.
animals.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's saying thank you, and then he's saying he likes the breeze, and he's enjoying the breeze, right?
Yeah.
And then just to go back to this is why I wanted to say the story, because Kratos at the time, they tell him he said they agree, he will never be free or whatever. And then Kratos says, you can't change the past, but you can make it better. So going back to what we were just talking about.
Yep.
I can't change my past, but I can make it better. So for the last few months, that's what I've been trying to do.
Wow.
Trying to make it better.
Yeah. Day by day.
Yeah.
Brick by brick.
Yeah.
Man. You seem more peaceful.
I think so.
Like, and not the peaceful of just wanting peace for peace, wanting peace for peace's sake, but like more settled.
Yeah. I've been trying to make that happen. I think it's good to achieve for that. Also, especially if you're trying to have kids.
Yeah.
'Cause when you have kids very young, you maybe not as confident of who you are, and then you mess them up.
And you bring the whale and the whale mentality
Little bit, yeah.
and you pass it down to them.
Not that that's why I'm doing it exactly, but I'm for sure doing it for me. But
It's a good enough motivating reason for sure, bro.
yeah, it's also good for everyone around me. So that's a good thing too.
For your wife, for your dog.
Yeah, for the goals, for Jane,
Yes.
for my friends, for my family. Yes,
For your band.
for the projects.
Has it felt easier now working too as a band?
What do you mean?
Like with the impact that it's had on you just by your own self.
With the band?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Like
just.
has that transferred to the band?
I think it's transferred to my my joy for that. Honestly, like I'm excited to play. I'm excited to hang out, to meet, to get things going. I've always enjoyed the band, but I'm truly like excited to be there, kind of thing.
Nice.
It's not like, oh, we have to do this.
I hear you.
Because at points, like everything, sometimes it feels like that.
I see. I hear you. Dude, you know what I remembered? On the first episode, I said we were gonna play a song from from your band.
Oh yeah.
And I forgot to include it.
Did you say you were gonna play it?
Yeah, in the
That's
podcast
funny.
I said it. So how about, could we play like a little snippet?
You don't want to put it after?
No. That's what we said last time, and I didn't. Do you have any preference?
I think you should just plug in the thing for them to go look at it, because it won't sound good.
They can still. We can do both.
Okay, how about this?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna play the single of the album that we talked about at the beginning,
Okay.
and then you're gonna play like 10 seconds of it,
Okay.
and then as it's leaving, you're
Yep.
gonna exit and say something about like exit
Check
the
out.
podcast.
Yeah. Check out CFR.
Sure, or the podcast and whatever, blah blah blah.
Okay. And the single is Johnson's wife.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wait. Before we do that, dude, I almost forgot. I do have a signature question that I like to ask every single guest.
What is it?
But it's interesting. We've already talked about your grandma and your grandparents.
Uh-huh.
What is one piece of sage advice that you got from your grandparents?
From my grandparents.
Yes.
Oh, I
Or
have a
something
good one.
that either grandparents or parents, but older generation.
I have a
right?
good
Because it's
one.
digging for wisdom, and I feel like
Yeah.
through age, there's usually wisdom that's passed down.
My grandma is so hardcore when it comes down to like just the old school way of doing things and saying things and just being.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something that my grandma never forgot to tell me, never, she would say, always remember that you're representing the Dominguez family.
Hey,
Oh my God, that was always so heavy.
that's like Japanese honor.
Yes,
Hey.
in a good way. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't ever like a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she would always tell me like, cause like young when I was like already like 15, I was already like going to El Paso for school. I was doing internships where I was like in Texas for like 3 months. Like at a very young age, I was just leaving home for a good periods of time, right? So every time my grandma knew that I was gonna be gone for a little bit, she would always tell me that, like, remember that, or in a nice way, right? She would say, like, remember, be good, don't forget about us, call us, and don't forget that you represent your family, kind of like that.
Dude, I like that.
And I was like,
I like that.
Yes,
Culture
ma'am.
of honor.
yeah.
All right, here, Johnson's wife from CFR. And you can check out the rest of that CFR. Find them on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere music is played and displayed. Go ahead and find CFR there. And if you're in Oklahoma City, they do play their gigs usually at the Blue Note. You can go listen to their music, interact with them. My man Elias, thanks,
John.
brother. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Yes,
it has.
Gracias.
We'll do some more of these.
We will. Many more to come.
Beat.com.